The units and denominations of Bitcoin. Just like when we use dollars or national currencies, and currencies are divided by 100 and we call them 1 cent, like 1 cent of a dollar, the same happens with Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is really divided by 100 million. And 100 millionth of a Bitcoin is the minimum divisible unit, analogous to the cent in the case of the dollar, and it is called 1 Satoshi. 1 Satoshi is a 100 millionth part of 1 Bitcoin. Bitcoin also, when it's traded in exchanges or when it's used in apps or in the economy in general, its symbol is usually $BTC. So these are the denominations of Bitcoin that are used by machines and software developers and engineers because they have to express it in the quantities of the atomic units. And these denominations are 100 millionth of a Bitcoin is 1 Satoshi. This is in honor of Satoshi Nakamoto, the creator of Bitcoin. 10 Satoshis is called a Finney, that denomination, and this is in honor of Hal Finney, who created one of the precursors of Bitcoin called RPOW or RPOW, or reusable proof of work. And Hal Finney was a critical contributor and user of Bitcoin. He was the first user after Satoshi launched it in January of 2009. And also a critical software contributor because he contributed to fixing many bugs and also suggested some changes to Satoshi Nakamoto. And also Hal Finney was an important philosophical contributor through his writings after Bitcoin was created. Then when you multiply 1 Satoshi by 100, the standard, that denomination is called a micro Bitcoin. When you multiply 1 Satoshi by 100,000, the name of that denomination is called millibitcoin. When you multiply it by 1 million, it's called centibitcoin. This would be like 1 cent of a Bitcoin. And when you multiply Satoshis by 10 million, it's called a decibitcoin, which is 0.1 Bitcoins. And when you multiply Satoshis by 100 million, then you have 1 whole Bitcoin. So this is for machine-to-machine expression, but usually these exact same denominations are inverted in applications and in the economy in general, and for payments they're expressed in this way, which is exactly the same quantities but expressed inverted. No? So 1 Bitcoin is 1, 0.1 is a decibitcoin, like I said before. It's basically 1 Bitcoin divided by 10. 0.01 is a centibitcoin, which is equivalent to the 1 cent of the dollar or national currencies. When you divide 1 Bitcoin by 100,000, you have the millibitcoin. By 1 million, it's called the micro Bitcoin. And when you divide it by 10 million, you have the Finney that I said before. And when you divide 1 Bitcoin by 100 million, then you have the atomic unit or undivisible unit, which is 1 Satoshi. There's also one curiosity or interesting thing that is happening, that is, as Bitcoin goes up in price and when in the future it's worth millions of dollars per Bitcoin, it's very likely that the denominations are going to be more similar to this, especially for small transactions. So it's possible that you're going to buy something that is a small transaction and it's going to look like this, 0.00004351 Bitcoin. But a lot of people are already talking about Satoshis, expressing these kinds of transactions in Satoshis directly. So you would see the same value, the same transaction, but expressed in an app or a payments app as 4,351 Satoshis. Some apps are already using this, especially those that use Lightning Network for high volume transactions in Bitcoin. And the abbreviated form of this would be 4,351 sats. So the Satoshis may be the way we call Bitcoin and Bitcoin transactions in the future.